Hi, I'm Dr. Angela McBurney of DoctorFlute.com. Today's practice with me is Chaminade Concertino, the Cadenza. So we're finally making it through, and now you're at this wonderful place called the Cadenza. I love this Cadenza. I think it's just fabulously written. It's really fun to play. You look at it and you see all these accidentals, but they really fit your fingers, and once you get over the fact that there's a double sharp a couple of places in there and there's all these accidentals, just learn the notes first, then you could start making some music with this. So you get to come into it from the measure 110, which had a molto rallentando. So it places you in a good spot where you play this low C sharp. You've taken a breath. Okay, don't take too much time with that because you need to go right on without having a breath. So your one breath here takes you a long ways. And you get to take your breath there. Now, if you were playing a little slower, you might not make it. If you need to, take one here right after the F sharp. It would work just as well right through there. So if you need to have that extra breath, take it. It's all right. Okay. Now, I'm not going to talk about how to work out the fingering. I think you know by now, if you've worked on the other part, you can work on this as well. But let's just talk about expression. So this says to poco crescendo through here, and with cadenzas we get to push the tempo or pull the tempo as we see fit. And as this is climbing to that C sharp and the fermata, I like to push the tempo a little bit. So I'm going to start off slow in its eighth notes and then going into 16ths, so it makes sense. Notes to bring out. I think you may have heard what I was doing. I started with the F sharp. Okay, now at the end, the fourth note of your eighth note is an A sharp into the C sharp. Those two are important. The end of this group of 8, the E sharp into the next F sharp, and then the G double sharp into the A sharp, and then the B sharp into the C sharp hold. So a good thing to do is just practice those. So you hear how that builds up through there into that C sharp. So you build only to fall back down. There's all these little tiny diminuendos. All I do is like to think, I'm just going to lean on the first note, lean on the first note. That's what I lean on. Okay, a tiny bit of a diminuendo, so you're louder, softer, louder, softer. But I like to lean. If I say lean, it makes me do it just right. Now you end softly, and then you're back to this melody. So that's the melody. Now you have to fit the grace notes in, but not destroy that melody. And then almost as an afterthought, then you get to come in and do that melody with those grace notes at a forte. Afterthought. It's hard to play that high A softly. It does say diminuendo. Always don't ever sacrifice tone for softness. If you can't get soft, do as soft as you can and still get that tone to come out. Okay, now we get to have some fun. These runs here, they say poco lento and molto animato. So pull it, start slow, and get faster into the vivo where you're doing your chromatics down. All right, that's that fun section here. You're going to work on your fingers. You need to make sure that they're even, that you can go up and down this run. We get a little faster, we put a little slower. We get a little faster until you get to the vivo, the chromatic run all the way down to the fermata. And then this poco lento accelerando. Crescendo and then diminuendo, all in the same note. And then you're into the majestic ending. All right, so that's your fermata. Work at pulling. You get to toss it around a little bit. Go a little faster here. Pull it a little bit slower here. Don't destroy the melody. Find out what are the important notes and bring those out of your runs, and then fool around with where you want to go a little faster and where you want to go a little slower through this section. But a cadenza is all about what you want to do and how you want to express it. So have fun working on your cadenza and join me for the presto, and that'll conclude our Chaminade practice with me. Have fun. If you like this video, share it with your friends, press the like button, comment below, and subscribe.